Okay, we are back. It is the last session of this first day of NDC Oslo, and I would like to ask you to make a huge applause to all the organizers that made this possible. Cool. So, today we will talk about focus, so how to be indestructible. And I'm pretty sure, being one of the last talk of the conference, that the program committee wanted to challenge myself. So it's super important that you help me to show that we can be really indestructible, right? So, what we will talk about today. We will talk about why it is so important to stay focused. We will do a little bit of self-assessment. We will talk about risk. If we do not manage focus, we will show the 4 keys plus 1, because when I applied, I said, okay, there are 4 keys, but then I discovered one more, so it's 4 plus 1. But before starting, I would like to say some words about me. I'm Michela, head of community CodeMotion. We have a community of 250,000 developers in Europe, but mostly in Italy and in Spain. And I'm organizer of several communities like TEDx, Google developer groups, and many others that I manage in my free time. But mostly, I come from a little village in Italy called Cissone, and we have 82 inhabitants with no internet connection and public transport. So I'm really happy to be here today. And one other of the thing that I do is that I have a new job title. I'm Chief Selfie Officer. So I would like to take a selfie with you today so that we can show that I had a great presentation, the best one ever. So please raise your hands and say, and smile. Thank you. Anke, the other side, sorry. And here. Great. So, I can go. No, I'm joking. So, well, let's start with why, as Simon Sinek says. I wanted to imagine for a moment that you are no more developer, but you have to deal with one thing that you love a lot, people. So, you are a community manager, and you are organize events. You manage program and user group. You manage ambassador program, partnerships, speakers, and then scholarship, a wannabe speaker program, contributor, and you have to manage your community team and your internal team. And when you do this, you do with a lot of tools, because people get in touch with you with Instagram, email, Facebook, WhatsApp, whatever. So I can assure you that if you start working with people, it could be a little bit complicated at the very beginning, and your mind at the end of the day completely get crazy. So, how I felt after when I started to begin being a community manager. I talk with so many people all the time, making so many chats, but at the end of the day, I really feel completely stressed, and I didn't know what I did really during the whole day. So I said to myself, I need to manage. I need to know how to do this. And I followed a masterclass from Neil Ayerl, and he told me that we had to be indestructible. This is for us, for our mental health, physical health, our career, and our relationship, and managing our stress and concentration. There's a Google designer who says that if I'm Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, WhatsApp, we have thousands of engineers whose job is just to get more attention from you. So have you ever have this feeling like watching Netflix, for instance, and it ends the first episode, then really quick start the second one, and you say, I'm so tired, I want to go to sleep, and then say, okay, let's see the other episode. How many of you had this sensation? Okay. Then also the LinkedIn progress bar that shows you that you are so close, you have your perfect profile. And so it says, OK, give me some more personal data. So this is more or less the sensation, right? And there are billions of places to spend our attention. But there is a war behind this. A UX designer says, the only people who refers to their customer as user are drug dealers and technologists. So, user can spend a lot of money, and it is important for our industry. And researchers show that we spend almost like 2 years of our life on socials. And it's a lot. So let's do a little bit of self-assessment. Who has problems with time management? OK, cool. Concentration? Yes. Who has problem keeping habits and routines? Cool. And being present? OK. So you are in the right place. And so this study shows that we spend almost 3.5 hours on our mobile. But this is a general study. Imagine us in our field, in the IT field, how much time we spend more. And we spend also 7 hours a day, well, we, in reality, even more, in front of a screen. But at the end, when we have to deal with like social and all this kind of stuff, have we done meaningful things for us? So have we spent time correctly? So it's time to take action. We need to be honest with ourselves and have to do with what we really want. So we can't blame always what is outside. We need to be conscious. And Paulo Coelho says that a mistake made several times becomes a decision. So what is the opposite of distraction? Someone knows? Concentration. Who agreed with this? Focus. Who says that focus is the opposite of distraction? Raise your hands. Mostly. Other answer?
You could say that the opposite of focus is not distraction, because distraction means that you're focused on something else.
OK. So the opposite of distraction is?
Distraction is the non-focus.
No, is traction. So traction is an action that brings us close to what we want. Distraction is an action that takes us away from what we want. And action starts with 2 triggers, internal ones and external ones. Only 10% of triggers that start our action to become destructive are external. So notification, apps, friends that come to us, 90% comes from internal. So time management is pain management, because distraction is an unhealthy escape from discomfort. So we want to escape from loneliness, maybe anxiety, laziness, we are bored, or we seek to escape from we feel unfair. So, and if you think social that we develop as the only aim to entertain us. So, what happens if we do not manage our focus? Well, when I had to manage and face this kind of problem, I started analyzing my routine and my morning. So, when the alarm sounds, the first thing that I did was taking my mobile and have a look on WhatsApp, Telegram, Instagram, LinkedIn, and then open emails, haven't seen if there are any kind of notification, so getting started answering to so many people, and then having breakfast while watching TV and having my mobile open. So it was really crazy. So in the first hour of my day, I had done so many things, but in reality I did nothing, and my brain was already burning out. So, which are the risks? First, stress. Due to stress, we underperform and we burn out. Second, the quality life, both professionally and personally. Third, we overload our nervous system. So we have cognitive load and information overdose to manage. It's so hard to learn new stuff. And then the fourth, relationships. Our most important thing that we have to deal with. Because if people don't feel that you are focused and you are concentrating when you talk with them, they don't feel they're enough. There's a famous talk of Simon Sinek that says, if I'm talking with you or with my mobile in my hands, yes, it's turned off, you don't see any kind of notification, but it's like I'm not concentrating on what I'm doing. So if you are maybe having dinner with a friend or with your partner, and you have your mobile on the table, it sounds like there's something more important than me. And why should you have your mobile close to you? So mostly we miss important things. So it could happen the best thing close to us, but if we are not focused, we miss this kind of stuff. And research shows that our focus lasts 40 seconds. And if we have Slack or any kind of chat open, it is 35 before that we get distracted. So we think that it is a brain problem, because of course brain is our boss, but it's not. It's an overstimulation problem. Of course, attention is fragile and vulnerable, but especially if we are so stressed. But we can manage, because otherwise our minds start to wander. There's a thing called novelty bias. And novelty bias is based on a hormone that is called dopamine. And when you use Instagram, Snapchat, TikTok, the same hormone, that is the dopamine, is produced like when we have sex, or when we take drugs, or when we smoke. So it is exactly the same hormone that we want more, even more. So distraction is the enemy of focus. No, it is overstimulation. We need to create more space. And now I have a question with you. Did you notice something strange in my last slide? Yes. So, cool, get focused, stay focused. So, why this happen? Because we receive every moment 11 million bits of information to manage, but we're able to elaborate them consciously only 60 bits at a time. So what does this mean? That 99% what doesn't happen is unconscious. So, okay, but how? How can we manage? First of all, I would like to ask you, how many of you had classes during the years at school to know in how to concentrate? Like, how many of you? One? Okay. And how many of you have been told to focus when you were young? At least one time. Okay, almost everyone. And this is funny, right? So people say us that we have to focus, but they don't explain us how. So we have a solution, and solution is training. Training exactly as we want to run a marathon. We had to start, we have to buy shoes, we need to go out to make the first steps, then to run by 500 meters, and then the first kilometers, and then in 1 year, we will be able to run our marathon, maybe. So, this is why, because we have become expert of distraction. Every single moment we get distraction from notification. Oh, I want to answer to my friends. Maybe she or her answer me, or maybe someone has answered to my LinkedIn post. So we had practiced all over the years our capacity, our skills to be distracted. So we are super expert in this. So we need to become expert also in focus. And how? Well, we need to understand how it works our mind. It's a powerful tool, right? But unfortunately, there is not a user manual. But there are neurosciences that are starting working on it and shows us some interesting tips. So, the first key, manage internal triggers. The first step is to be aware. So we need to understand ourselves. We have said that we escape from something. So the first step is to recognize what's happening in us. I know it's super hard, especially at the beginning, because we are working hard on a task and then maybe something happened in our mind. It said, okay, we don't have time to stop ourselves for a moment and said, okay, what's happening? What am I escaping from? It is boring, this task. I feel alone. I want to eat, but why? So we need to be curious. We need to be aware and know ourselves even more. Then we need to serve the urge. Here there are three kinds of person. The shamers. Shamers, people that said, I'm not good at time management. It's not something it is good for me. Then we have blamers. Blamers are people that says that are all external problems. It's just because maybe there is a friend that's come and it's not about us. But then we have claimers. Claimers are people that take responsibility on their action and they respond to that sensation. It's not our fault about how we feel, but it's our responsibility to react to that feeling. So we have the first rule, as said, manage internal triggers, and I can give you one tip. And this tip can use our biggest and powerful skill. Who is able to procrastinate? We are good procrastinator? Okay, cool. So the first rule is the 10-minute rule, and it uses our procrastination skill. So maybe you are working on a task or on a project and says, oh, I would like to see that message. Maybe my friends answer me. Or, oh, maybe there are some likes on my new post on Instagram. And then you need to put a delay from this moment until you want to do this action. So say to yourself, okay, I will do it just in 10 minutes. If you put a delay from the first trigger that it comes in your mind and your action, be sure you will not do it. Because you become even more aware on what you are doing and on what's happening to you, and you understand which is the real value on this kind of things. And the other suggestion that I can give you is take always close to you a piece of paper. Yes, piece of paper and pen. Because every time that you are working on a task, for instance, and it comes to my mind, I need to say this to my colleague, just write it down. Don't do it, because if you open Slack, you will see thousands of channels that you need to say, okay, I need to just read this, and then and you don't know, it's past half an hour reading messages and answering, and you don't know and you don't have any idea on what you're working on. So this is the first rule. Procrastination. We are all skilled and super senior expert about procrastination, so I'm pretty sure we will be able to use this tip. Second one, take time for traction. If you call it distraction, you cannot call it distraction unless you know what you are distracting from. So I have reframed my new morning, and I've decided which are real priorities for me. So when I wake up, I open the windows, I do a little bit of earthing, then I do 10 minutes of meditation and yoga, and then I can take a cup of tea, and then I read my books, I do training, and then I open my wonderful mobile and answer to all the people that I have, and then start working. So I want to be tracked to be more productive and calm. So this is the real important things to me. So I want to start work not with a lot of things in my mind, but with a calm mind. So you need to schedule your time, otherwise someone else will do it for you. And here you can do in 3 steps. The first one, plan your time about outcome and not output. Dismiss to-do list and stop reactive work and multitasking. If you need to do it, you need to do it based on your values. So you need to schedule your time based on what you really want to do. And your metric of success shouldn't be, I have done these 10 tasks, but should be, you should answer the question, have I done all the thing that I wanted to do in this amount of time without distracting me? If the answer is yes, you get success. So you reach that goal. If the answer is not, you can also do thousands of stuff, but you get distracted and your mind will start wandering away and you will not feel that you reach some important goals. So the solution is this one. I know it could be a little bit, can bring with you a little bit of anxiety, maybe. This was the result on me when I saw the calendar. When I was doing this masterclass, I was saying, oh my God, I cannot schedule all my time. I need a little bit of time to breathe and to stay calm. But I didn't have any other solution, because the way in which I was behaving, I was managing my focus, my attention, my concentration, it wasn't working. So you need to schedule your day. You need to schedule your day based on your needs and values. So I wake up early in the morning at 6:30, and then I have my morning routine. Then, as said, I have masterclass training, I do training, and then I start working, have amount of time to work, to see like Gmails and all the notification, and then I have focus moment for each activity I'm working on. And I have planned also like moments, there is also lunch, because sometimes happen that I don't remember that I have to eat. So you can see that there are moments where I dance Latin American, or when I go out with friends, or I spend time with my mother, and so on. So you need to schedule your day based on what you want to do. Do you want to see a series on Netflix? Perfect. Just put it on your calendar and schedule that time for this activity. Do you want to have 2 hours to do nothing? Perfect. Let's write it down and dedicate this time only for you. So create your time, your space to be creative, but respect, of course, this kind of stuff. Did you know that we need 23 minutes to get back on focus? So if we multitask and change tasks one to another, we need so much time to get back on what we were working on. So think about how much time we lose every moment. But above this, it means that we have always less narrow resources to work on our project and our main goal. And we really think that shifting tasks one moment to another, we getting shit done, but in reality, what does it mean? So research shows that we check emails 70 times a day, and we shift tasks 576 times a day. Or we check our phone 60 times. So it's so much. Imagine how much. So we are expert multitasker, but in reality, it doesn't bring in any place. So we need to understand the power of routines. Our brains has evolved over the years, but it thinks always in the same ways of millions or thousands of years ago. So we don't take the right decision. Our brain do not want to take the right decision. Our brain wants to take the easiest decision, because we need to consume less energy as possible. So it's not more about willpower. If we do understand the power of routines, we will be able, we will not think about, oh, do I need to make gym now? No, it's shallow. You just need to do it. Third, we need to turn off external triggers. This is the easiest part, because we have thousands of tools that can help us to do it. So first, you need to monitor your time. So who is aware on how much time spent every day on his mobile or her mobile. Okay, some of you, that's cool, but most of the audience, no. So be aware of how much time you spend on your mobile every single day. And then when you ask yourself, but I do not have time, well, you will find that time over there. Then, use focus mode. It's integrated in almost every app. There are apps that you can download to block other apps. You can use multiple desktops to create digital environment different for every kind of activity. Both you can use personal one, or you can work on your work stuff, and put a timer on the apps. This is what I did in 2021 when I was really burning out, because people were writing me in so many moments, and I received so many notifications in every single moment. So I have first put the gray screen so that the mobile for me is less attractive. Second, I stopped some applications that I used the most, so LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, and X, so that on every time that I go there, I can find a notification say, okay, you're on focus mode. Are you sure you want to go there? So there is a friction between when I click and then when I enter the app, plus less internet connection that we have in Chisone. It's perfect. So, and then, so I have focus mode from 2 p.m. until 1 p.m. or just during lunch, I have a moment in which I can access. And then I have put a timer on each app so that I can use Instagram only 15 minutes a day. And if I want to use it for work, because of course I need it, I just use it from my computer so that everything is separated. So if you do not decide what to focus on, someone will decide for you. We need to make digital clutter. And to do it, so that you cannot be distracted. How many of you have ever seen this kind of situation on your desktop? Okay, not that far. Okay, you already have a good clutter environment, digital environment. So the point is to pass from this moment to this. So clean everything that you have on your desktop, on your mobile, on your archive, on your Google Drive, and whatever. Because if you start to say, okay, I need to organize, you will never do it. So let's create a clear space when we can work. Make clear to your colleagues, to your family, to your flatmate when you are working. Especially for us, that we are smart working and we work remotely, this could be the situation that could happen. Like you are working on a task and say, okay, I'm so focused on finding the solution, and then my mother comes and say, hey, Michela, sorry, can you help me this with my mobile? I don't know how to use WhatsApp. I was like, oh my God, and I miss everything. So I really want to help my mother, of course, but I had to tell her, Mom, I want to help you, but we need to do it in dedicated time. Now I'm working, and if I work, then you disrupt me. I answer you bad. I don't want to lower our quality of relationships. So this is something that I'm doing for us. So another thing is leave distracting devices out of meetings, both of work, if you can, of course, but especially personal. So as I was saying before, if you are on a dinner with your partner or with your family, with your friends, leave your distracting devices out, because you need to stay focused on what is saying the person. And here's some practical tips. You can download Forest. Forest is an app that blocks your screen because they want to grow several trees for you, and if you need to put a timer and says, okay, I want to stay focused for 10 minutes, for 30 minutes, and if you click on your mobile, they will kill the tree. So if you don't want to kill trees, it's better to stay concentrated. Or work with friends. You can work co-working physically, maybe with friends, or you can use focusmate.com. It's a tool, it's a website, free, where you can go and say to someone else, all around the globe, and say, okay, today I want to work on this, and this task, and I will do it in 1 hour. And he or she will do the same, and you can work both in the same moment, so having the Zoom call, we can say, open, or you can see yourself after the meeting so that you can share what you have reached. And this worked for me a lot. I didn't use this tool, but there was a moment in my life in which there was a friend that every single day asked me, what you're working on? And I said, okay, today I had to do this for the ambassador, this for the conference, and this for this new project that I'm running. And to say this to my friends, saying that I have state this kind of task that I had to work on, I really was more focused, because the day after, he will ask me again, what we will do and what have you done? And so I need to prove that I reach my goal. And then stop your to-do list and start not to-do list. If we want to free our time, if you want to give real values and priorities so that we can be real focused on what matters for us, we need to stop doing something that's not meaningful for us. So another thing that I do, every year I set my goals, and every day I have my sheet of paper where I read all my goals so that I can be focused and see, okay, these are my goals, so if I need to do some choices today, I will do the choices based on these goals. This is the situation in which we are now. So we have a high stimulation all over the time. But what if we change this situation and turn off notification? We have a moment of boredom. So if we get bored, we can really unleash a lot of stuff. We can get more ideas and more plans. A lot of people say that the best idea we have when you had the shower, right? So this is the reason, because if we have a dedicated moment in which we want that our mind wander, we can really find solution to problems that we didn't thought. This happened to me, like I will dance Latin American music, so some solution to some problems that I wasn't able to solve arrived me while I was dancing like a salsa. Or I tried several stuff to manage time, like tomato way, so working for 50 minutes and then 10 minutes stop. In this 10-minute stop, I was workout. Yes, I did a lot of tests. So in this 10 minutes of workout, where I just was concentrating, doing exercises, really comes to my mind some activities or some solution to problems that was super useful. There's a thing called scatter focus. That's an international mind-wandering letter so that you can wander free from any point. And this is super important for us, because we can calm down our mind. So not all those who wander are lost, says Eric Tolkien. Last key, make pacts. We need to reduce distraction with pacts. And I want to talk to you about the myth of Ulysses. Who knows Ulysses? A few? Okay. So, Ulysses made a pact with his crew because he wanted to hear the song of the sirens. But if the crew and the whole team hear these songs, the result was they were killed all. So the crew couldn't have the possibility to hear the sounds of the voice of the sirens, but Ulysses, yes. So nothing happened. So we need to talk with ourselves and be our best friends and make pacts. There are 3 types of pacts. Pacts of money, effort, and identity. So money. Let's think about, okay, I want to do this activity today for 1 hour and a half, and I want to reach this goal. If I don't do it, I will burn 50 euro. We will do it, this activity without distraction. Who can do it? Yes, okay. So, we need to incentivize ourselves. Yes, maybe this is a little bit extreme, we can say, but this could be. But this is the rationale that there is behind when we want to have gym. We want to train ourselves. But if we think that it is free, we always postpone, so we are procrastinator ourselves. But if we pay, we will be more incentivized to go there. And this is the same also for meetups, for instance, or conferences. If we have free training, there is one, like local meetups organize a lot of free meetups, but the no-show rate is so high. Why? Because if it is free, people don't perceive the value. And so at the last time, they say, okay, I'm tired, I work all the time, why should I go? I don't go. For me, it's not valuable. But if you pay a ticket and you come to NDC Oslo and you don't want to, you maybe have a headache, maybe you think twice not to come today or tomorrow. So this is the first, based on money. Then there is the effort. So as I did before, if I put a barrier in between me and the action, as I make the telephone, my mobile, less attractive with gray, or I put another barrier, I put a timer on each barrier, or the focus mode. So in this way, I have to click on the app, and then the app shows me, yeah, but you are on focus mode, are you sure? Yes, you need to confirm. And then maybe you have the timer, and so you have the time off. Yes, of course, you can go in the settings and up your timer, but there is a lot of friction. You want to use this information, you want to go on Instagram right now, you don't want to have thousands of steps to do a thing. So if you put friction in this, it will be super easier, well. And then the identity. The identity is based on which are your values and who is the person that you want to be. Would you be a distracted person, or would you like to reach your goals? So, we need to take action. We need to master internal triggers, make time for traction, hack back external triggers, and prevent distraction with path. And these are the 4 keys, the first 4. So, as I said, manage internal trigger, find more time for traction, turn off external trigger, and make pact. But we have the +1. The +1 is reframe your lifestyle. We need to think about us globally, because we are a lot of stuff. We're not just working, okay? So we need to reframe our lifestyle. The first thing that we have to do is being mindful. Who practice mindfulness already? 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, okay. Several of you. More this side, no. Interesting. So, mindfulness means to pay attention in the present moment on purpose without an attitude of judgment. It is not like meditation, say all the time. Of course, it could be, but mindfulness is more nothing. We are divided in the time divided into 3 phases. No, we think about the past, when you was young, and when you did that decision that completely changed your life. Maybe you blame yourself and things wasn't as you wanted, and then you think about the future. So everything that could be wrong, or things that maybe you are not expecting. But the only moment that you need to live is now. Because it is the only moment it's worth. It is the only moment that you really live. So there are so many variables for the future, and we cannot change what happened in the past. But we can live now. And mindfulness is a way in which you just need to stay concentrated on one thing without judging. And research shows that people that they have monitored people in high stress moment in which they have to do some task, and their focus were extremely low. But after 1 month in which they did 10 minutes of mindfulness every single day, their focus were higher. So you don't need to do 1 hour. I'm not able. I do just 10 minutes every day, but really it can help you a lot. Then, write. You need to visualize your thought. When you're so confused, you don't know what to manage, what you have in your life, in your mind, just write down. Give to your thought a shape, physically, on a piece of paper. You will understand that will be less thing that you were thinking about, because things in our mind are more complicated than what are in reality. So, another thing that you should do is take care of your environment, both physical and digital. So, physical, if you have a big house, maybe you can have a room dedicated to work, one to sleep, and one to eat. If you do not have, be sure to divide the spaces, because for our brains, when we mix this kind of stuff, it's so hard to manage. So if you have only one room, just have a dedicated space for work. Don't work on your bed, for instance, because then you brings, when you have to sleep, all the thoughts of your work. So it's super hard for you to manage. Really divide the places so that you can manage better. And online, you can develop a second brain. Who knows what is a second brain? Okay, there is another talk for this. So you can, for instance, I manage several communities, and I have several Chrome profiles dedicated for each environment, and so dedicated bookmark for each one. Or on your project management tool, so create dedicated spaces for each project, so it's super easy to go and find information. And then food. Food is super important, so do not eat too much, because if you eat so much, our brain needs to give all the energy to to digest the food. So healthy food, of course. And I am not a dietologist, but research shows that blueberries are full of antioxidants, avocados, good fat as fish, omega-3, eat a lot of water, green teas, and other stuff. So food is super important also to see ourselves comprehensively. And then sleep. Sleep is super important. Who sleeps at least 7 hours and a half? 6 hours? 5 hours? 4 hours? 3 hours? Okay, I don't want to say less. So there is a beautiful book on sleep that says how much sleep is important. So it restores our mind. It helps us to remember things, clean your thoughts, so delete information that are not useful for us during the night. And it is a hormone balance. This is super important. And the CEO of Netflix says that their biggest competitor are Facebook, YouTube, and sleep. So there should be a reason why it is so important also, no? So remember, in our IT world, it works hard to attract people, to get their focus. This is the goal of all big corp, like so, in social, no? So Facebook, TikTok, Netflix, they want to entertain us. They want that we use their products. But every product that we develop needs to be used. So our goal is to have the attention of people. But we need to be aware. So awareness and consciousness are the key for us to be conscious on what's happening. So we have all tools we need to be more focused. So to wrap up, manage internal triggers with 10-minute rules and procrastination. Find time for traction with planning time for outcomes and not for outputs. Dismiss to-do lists and stop reactive work. Turn off external triggers. Monitor the time you spend on your mobile. Use the focus mode. Put a timer on each app. Make digital clutter. make a clear way in which when you work. And then you can download Forest app, you can work with friends, and dismiss to-do lists. So start to not to-do list. And then make paths with about money, effort, and value, and identity. And the plus one, reframe your lifestyle. So mindfulness, writing, dividing spaces, healthy food, and sleep. And I want to let you with a challenge. So try not to take your phone when you move. When you ride a bike, when you walk, when you drive. So try to do this for a day, for a week, and see how it works. And for pro, try not to use your phone try to use the phone only for a limited time, each day. At the very beginning of the year, I decided to not to use the phone for an entire week, and I was at home, alone. And the very beginning was a little strange because I said, wow, there is so much time. What can I do in all this time? Then I found a lot of stuff. But it's quite a great experience, especially for us that we were constantly connected with everything. So I don't want to ask you to do this because I know it could be a little bit complicated, but test yourself. So challenge yourself. How much time are you really able to stay without any kind of device? So thank you very much. And here are a QR code. If you want to see all resources and bibliography, just give me a feedback and you will receive just an email directly in your inbox. Thank you very much. I don't know if there are any kind of question. You can just raise your hands or come here. Thank you. Sorry, okay. Can you put just again the QR code? Thank you.